Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Alanis here with another home improvement project. How to make something out of nothing. So my nothing is today a tabletop that was for a desk that doesn't have any legs to it. So I'm going to create a table out of this using a couple of basic hardware. So I have table leg mounts. I have 4 of them. I have 2 sawhorses. I have 4 table legs here. My drill, a couple of straight edges, and some good old-fashioned know-how. Okay, so I've placed my table on my sawhorses, and as you can see, I've drawn out outlines of how to mount my table leg mounts. I used a straight edge. This is called a level, and I only used it to determine the side fit for both edges of the table. So I've done that for all 4 corners and made my outlines for that. Then from here, what I'm going to do is drill holes for each one of these leg mounts. These leg mounts have a removable bolt. One side is threaded and the other side is a screw end. This part goes into the table. This part goes into the table legs. So I'll be doing that a little bit later on. So right now I've already marked my locations of where my table fittings are going to be, or leg fittings are going to be, and now I'm going to drill 5 holes and mount those. Okay, I've prepared my drill and I've marked my drill tip with a piece of tape to show what depth I need to drill my holes. When I start to drill my holes, I'm going to need to make sure that they meet the size of the screw, which is here. And as you can see, I've got it just about right. I've left some area so that the screw can continue to drive into the board. And you can see here the size of the screw. Alright, so I've drilled my 20 holes, and as you can see here, these are the holes that I've drilled. I'm getting ready now to start inserting the screws. Okay, so I'm learning as I'm going. What I discovered is that since this is a triangular shaped mount, if I put one screw here and then one screw here and one screw here, I can make sure that I'm straight and correct with my other holes to be lined up. And I haven't mounted them all the way in, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm learning as I'm going. What I discovered is that since this is a triangular shaped mount, if I put one screw here and then one screw here and one screw here, I can make sure that I'm straight and correct with my other holes to be lined up. And I haven't mounted them all the way in, so I'm going to do that. Okay, the next part of the project is to mount this onto the table leg. So I've got to drill a hole in the table leg for this. This is a 5/16 and 5/16 is the threaded side, and this bolt size is an 18 a size screw, 2.5 inches long. Looking at my drill index, I'm going to choose 7/32 as my drill bit because that most closely matches the thread size for the bolt. Hello, so I have my table leg set up in a vise. The vise is a clamping device, and what I've done is I've protected it with 2 pieces of cardboard so that it won't mess up the finish on this leg. I've marked, just using the corners, a space directly in the center of the leg where I'm going to mount this object. I'll explain what these two are for in the next portion of the video. So at this point I'm going to drill a hole in here fairly deep because it needs to go, if you think about it, about 2 inches deep, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to hold my ruler up against it, and looking here at my ruler, I am not too far off and guessing about 2 inches. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I've started to thread in my bolt. You can see here that there are 2 nuts on the bolt, and the reason for that is one's called the jam nut. That's the jam nut, and this is the turning nut. And what'll happen is as this one creates pressure against this one, and now I can finish threading this onto the table. So this successfully got mounted onto the table leg base. It is 35 inches tall, and I've got 1 down and 3 to go. Okay, all 4 legs are installed. I double check them for being level. So I'll put my level up against there, and you can see my bubble is straight on there. Then I got to check the other side, and there's my bubble. Looks good. Here's the other leg. A little bit off, but not too bad. Again, looks fairly good. And as long as they're approximately level, I'm okay with that, because then we can adjust the table once it's standing up on edge. And we're going to turn this thing over right now and make sure that it meets my needs, and we'll just test it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the finished product. It is a 37¼ inch table that I'm going to be using as a buffet table. So here is flipping this around. Don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, this is